So this one is about a ball thrown vertically upward with an initial velocity of 29.4 meters per second. Now, this is a little bit of a weird idea, and it's asking us for the maximum height. So there's a lot of funny things that I'm going to have to bring up to answer this question. One of the first is that as soon as it's thrown vertically upward, I consider it an object in free fall at that point, right? And an object in free fall means that I'm going to treat it, I'm going to answer this question using a kinematics equation, where my acceleration is the acceleration due to gravity. So the acceleration in this problem is going to be negative 9.8 meters per second squared. And if I'm looking for the maximum height, I'm looking for a displacement. Then I want to try to figure out, I want to make sense of this a little bit better, so I'm going to make one of those tables. Well, I already know, well, I said the acceleration was negative 9.8 meters per second squared. So my displacement is what I'm looking for. And then what else do I know? Well, it's thrown upward with a speed of 29.4 meters per second. And there's one other thing that's a little bit of a weird idea. But right, if the ball starts here, right, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up, it's getting slower and slower and slower. At a certain point, it's going to come back down, right? And now it's got a negative velocity that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Well, it has to go from having a positive velocity to having a negative velocity, right? If I think about my number line, when numbers go from being positive to negative, what do they have to pass over? Well, in the middle there, there's got to be a zero there somewhere. And that's right at this point of the ball's trajectory, right here. So its final velocity when it reaches there, right, where this is going to be the maximum height, the final velocity there is 0 meters per second. And now, right, what do we not care about? We don't care about time, so we use the timeless equation in numbers. I'm going to bring that negative 29.4 squared to the other side, right? And one thing you'll notice is that that negative is outside of the squared here because I'm not squaring the negative number. I subtracted by what was already squared. And now here, right, once I'm here, I can divide both sides by 2 and that negative 9.8 meters per second squared, right? I divide by 2 and that 9.8 meters per second squared. And then I can punch that all of that into a calculator. That was a negative 9.8, right? So those negatives cancel out and I get displacement of 44.1 meters.